Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling this again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Live. In person, live Raw. Welcome back to News My Fiance. Raw, live, in person, live Raw. With myself, DJ Ambush, and Morgan Jones. Reporting live from downtown Portland. Well, we're not in downtown Portland anymore.
We're just the 5-alarm fire that is Portland, just forever ablaze.
Hello.
Yeah, they don't need our exact location.
All right. Mind your business.
Yeah.
We're in Portland, we're reporting live. That's all you need to know. There was protests over the weekend, and it's still on fire. Thank you so much for joining us.
Extra fire.
We really appreciate your support. Like, really appreciate your support. Because we are here on our own YouTube, on the News of My Fiance YouTube, based on the support that you were able to give us.
Yeah.
So be a part of the Chat Fam squad. Join the conversation in the chat. We are live on News of My Fiance YouTube. We are also live on Facebook and Twitch.
Yeah. Shout out to our studio sponsors, L&J Industries, for providing this dope space for us each week. Shout out to our production team, Kyle of Residual Audio, Jess and Ross, and our remote quality controller, Michelle, for making sure that this show happens every Monday. And of course, shout out to y'all being here, watching, listening, staying engaged with us.
Boom. Now, before we get started, fiancés, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell notifications so the algorithm notices us. Become a member over at newsofmyfiance.com/Patreon. Nope. Become a fiance over at patreon.com/newsofmyfiance. But you can also head to newsofmyfiance.com and hit the Patreon link there. Yes. I got it there too. You can go to the website. You can go to the
Patreon.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No matter what you do, News with My Fiance.
Hop on over there.
There are free tiers. There are paid tiers. There are all sorts of ways to get involved.
And we just want to be able to pay our bills and, keep chopping up with you guys every single week.
Yep.
Speaking of which, let's get to it. Let's get to the business.
Quality time.
Morgan Jones.
What happened there? Yeah, that's me.
What'd it do?
I mean, if I'm honest,
yeah,
it does exhausted. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
It does exhaust. I am exhausted.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically, mentally. Done bun, I believe.
A done bun.
What they call it. But I am also inspired and okay.
No, I just saw what's happening.
Okay.
So we're getting notifications on all platforms that my mic is low. And you want to know what happened, Jess? It's not you, it's me. I'm on line 4. Morgan is on line 3.
Why?
And you are on line 2. Because when I plugged in the cables, I may or may not, have been paying full attention there. I was a little distracted.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. Did you?
I see April Fitzpatrick in here.
April Fitzpatrick and Ceci are in the chat. Hey, babes.
Yep. C's is on your Facebook. Uncle C's.
Oh, get out of town.
Yep.
It's too many things. Hi, C's.
What
How
up,
we
Lindsay?
Doing? I miss you.
Lindsay's on my Facebook.
Okay, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. I don't know how we'll ever be able to consolidate all these chats. I know that there's a mechanism for it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
One of these days, we'll, get that going so that we can actually see everything without having to go to all these different places. I feel bad that I'm missing things.
Yeah.
This is the only reason why I'm saying any of this. I'm sorry for the production talk.
No, it's quite all right.
I'm hyped. I'm happy to see y'all. Thanks for being in here with us.
Let's do, because I'm still looking at some of the notes, right? Let's do one quick pause. No one go anywhere. MJ, you sit where you are.
Okay.
I'm going to do a quick thing over there.
Okay. Yeah. Does that mean turn the camera off? Or does that mean, right, do I talk to people? Friends, I'm tired. I was starting there. I'll keep going while they figure this out. We're going to talk about why I'm so tired and why Ambush is so tired and how, it might be a little more mellow today than it normally is. But also, it may not be that mellow. There's all sorts of stuff happening. Energy starts going once you get talking. Maybe we'll just get it going. I do not have a true understanding of all of the things that happened this last week or specifically this weekend. So I feel very behind the times, and all of the fun that I have been trying to figure out, to distract me from things is gone right now. So I don't really have anything to keep me going. Do you have any suggestions? I'm supposed to start The Righteous Gemstones, and I'm also supposed to start the White Lotus Season 3. Anything else out there that I should be doing? Hi, Brendan. Brendan's in the chat, too.
Nice.
Via April, but we're here for it. Hi, friends. I miss y'all.
You should be able to unmute me. I should be good. I'm on 2. 2's open? Sweet. All right.
Can y'all hear Ambush now?
All of our audio situations should be good.
Give us a mic check.
No? That was okay. All right. Mic check. I think we're good.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm great.
You are a DJ and you do sound, and you just did that as a mic check?
Just playing around, man.
Completely insane.
What up, AJ?
Oh, Ceci said my mic is also low. So 2
and 3 are open, but 3 is muted. Do you want all the way down?
No, 3, 2, and so I'm 3. This is 2,
okay.
And then 1 is you.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring 3 up so we can hear Morgan.
Okay.
Test.
All right.
Is it any better? Is it any better?
Boom. Oh, Aaron popped up on your Facebook.
Hi, baby. All the people I miss.
Yeah. We should be good. All right.
Well, y'all let us know if my mic is still low, or we really do appreciate all of the production notes in the moment.
For real.
It's very helpful. Very, very helpful.
Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, okay. I'll tell you what we'll talk about later in the show.
Right.
1, thank you to, one, I guess, Trump administration. I don't know if it's Elon Musk that we have to thank for this, or if it's, Stephen Miller. Not sure.
Right.
But a huge increase in organ food insecurity, because why would we send aid, and why would we fund USAID, and why would... Now we're not buying any of the food from the farmers, so that's cool. And then we're going to talk about what happens for immigrants when they get here. And how do I say this? Because it's part of the initiation for them to come, learn American culture, I guess.
Right.
But it's a little anti-Black. And by a little, I mean a lot.
A lot anti-Black.
And wow, here we are knowing anti-Blackness is global. And we wonder sometimes, why do people think that about, you also have Black people in your country? Right. It just, U.S. imperialism strikes again. We love some white supremacy. It's our favorite.
Bruh.
But yeah, the kind of conversations that are being had with Black immigrants coming to this country, I'm very interested to know if those conversations happen for non-Black immigrants to this country.
I think it does, but yeah.
I got a sneaking suspicion as well. So we'll get into that after the break. And we got plenty of fun warm-up topics, but we are also going to dig into what we did all weekend. And
yes,
we attended the Reimagine Public Safety Summit here, presented by Imagine Black. A weekend filled with truly imagining what it could look like in if we actually regarded safety in a way that didn't include necessarily authority,
Right.
Or punishment.
Right.
And talking about abolition.
Keep going.
And the difference between abolition and reform is a hard conversation to have, especially with a lot of different folks that have had different experiences with not just the police, but the justice system. Justice, big quotes. But we're going to go over a lot of the things that our experience there. It was absolutely incredible. I've been to a lot of conferences. I've been to a lot of really big conferences, smaller conferences, and I will never get over how amazing this one was and how intentional and thoughtful and so just care informed is the way that they planned this entire thing. And it was incredibly impressive and felt like I don't know who puts conferences on. Like, I don't know if that's an industry of its own.
Right.
That there's like conference planners, and I'm sure there's parts of that somewhere, depending on how big the conference. Like,
right.
They're already doing great big work, so it's not like I'm expecting them to stop what they're doing and start doing this.
That,
but
yeah.
This, I mean, I said to you at some point, like, this is why you have Black women do. This is what happens, not why you have them. But this is what happens when Black women are the ones planning the entire event.
Everything is thought out.
Yeah.
Everything is thought out. I remember we were walking back in from one of the breaks, and I said, this is giving me vibes of working for Maori at the Black Star Film Festival.
Yes.
Like,
which you would always say, this is incredible.
This
like,
is
the amount
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you've provided childcare? I can work knowing that Kay and Bree are in a suite with other children that are being looked after.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
There's just a different level of detail and making sure that you prioritize those things so that, I mean, this is already, we're doing heavy topic, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing a long weekend of a big lift.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had to worry about how you were going to get there or how to pay to park, it's downtown, it's at a hotel, like, that is a barrier.
All handled.
They just removed every barrier.
Yeah.
And made it such an incredible experience that I'm not going to get over it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get over it.
Shout out to Aaron from 503 Records.
Ew. Hey,
You know what I'm
Aaron, how you
saying?
doing?
And on your page is also or is my page, Jasmine Booth. Okay.
That's my cousin.
Oh.
You didn't recognize the last name.
I did not recognize the last name. Yeah, man.
How you doing, girl?
We in effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you just want to jump in? What do you want to do here?
I might have missed it in trying to do the troubleshooting. Did you mention we're going to be talking about the food insecurity as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. Let's jump into these warm-ups, man.
Well, tell me everything about the Sentinelese tribe.
So I don't know if you guys are aware, but American citizen. I will let you guess his ethnicity. Took it upon himself to go and meet with, visit, infiltrate the territory of a tribe, Sentinelese tribe, off the coast of India, that is an endangered tribe, that it's illegal to come in contact with them. But somehow his thought was, but you know what? I need to go on the beach and leave them a Coke. Leave them a can of Coke. Because they've never had a Coke.
Okay, I'm sorry. A quick question.
Yeah.
This story keeps kind of happening.
Yeah.
Not the can of Coke portion, but there's someone from America. This is an American?
Oh, it's
right,
American. Yes.
Someone from America.
What up, Faith? She said I read about this.
Hi, Faith. Real quick, did you say hi to AJ? Because I didn't see AJ was in
Yes,
here.
I did say hi to AJ.
Hey, boo. And Lily, my baby. Hi, baby. This story just kind of keeps happening.
Yeah.
And it's, oh, well, I was, I don't know, out kayaking.
Right.
No, you weren't.
You weren't.
This is a completely untouched area of, from the outside world.
The only reason you're there, literally, is because you've been told not to be there. And yes, John, you are correct. It was a white man. That's the only reason you're there. It's not because they have a special beach and the waves are really, you're only there because someone told you not to be there.
To catch a glimpse.
Yeah, catch a glimpse.
You want to catch a glimpse. And then what? So you caught a glimpse and you're like, I guess I'll go home and get them some Cokes.
The last
sodas.
dude we watched this happen to was a missionary.
Yeah.
Like they took him out.
Yeah, they killed that man.
Listen.
As you do an intruder to your land when you don't know what's going on.
I am one for these people being able to protect their territory. They made a choice to not be part of the rest of the civilization. We don't want to be dealing with y'all. Leave them be. Once you go over, I love that there's like never any direct action imposed on these people when they let these arrows fly.
Right.
Yeah, I think they left other boy, left him on the beach. Listen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I supposed to do?
What you mean?
You want a burial? Get out.
You get zero sympathy.
I would have put him back in the kayak.
Zero sympathy for me. Zed.
No.
Not an ounce. Not an ounce.
Everybody told that guy, do not do that. Everyone that he came in contact with, that he told, and his whole thing was this is a Jesus mission, and
Cool.
I gotta spread the gospel to these
Jesus told me to go there. Go there. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
If that's the case, I wonder how you feel now.
Well, he can now talk to Jesus about it. They didn't get any clarification. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like Jesus would be like, I think you misheard me.
Misinterpreted this message.
Yeah.
Those weren't the words I said. Yeah. That's not it.
Aaron said maybe he was there to talk to them about their car warranty that was about to expire.
It's really the Democrats coming to ask for $5.
Faith talk about Pepsi all day. Listen, I don't think it would have made a difference.
I don't think it would have made a difference. Well, maybe. Who's done worse in the world, Coke or Pepsi? I'm pretty sure it's Coke. Nah. Who owns Pepsi? Nestle?
Is it?
I don't know.
Jamie, who owns?
Let me just start spreading some disinformation. Nestle owns Pepsi.
Get your
and
Rogan
Nestle
on.
owns all the water. And Pepsi owns all the... I don't know.
And
it makes frogs gay.
And they
And that's what happens when you put Pepsi in the clear.
You're getting good.
Thank
You're
you.
getting really good at this.
I'm working on it. MK Ultra.
The way you worked
MJ
on
Ultra.
those gay frogs is great. So yeah, that's all I really got for that particular story. It was like, oh, guess what? Water is wet and white men are still going places they're not supposed to. And they got arrested. This man got arrested.
Oh, by who?
India officials.
Oh,
like they were made aware, and it was like, oh, word. This what you? Let's go.
Come with us.
Let's go. And
Before you get killed.
Keep him. Yeah.
I wonder if he'll be sent to an El Salvadorian prison because he's a part of that gang.
That would be.
It sounds like a little bit of a terrorist move.
It does.
I don't know. Like, I really want to know the impulse to colonize like that. Like, just like why are you there? Why do you have the need?
Okay, I'm starting to see a lot of Pepsi love in here. Lakeitha said Pepsi's for black folks.
Okay, fair. It is sweeter.
I've been drinking Coke over Pepsi when I do go cola.
Right.
And there's no Mr. Pibb available or Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Coke over Pepsi.
It's drier.
I just have been. But now, have I been doing it wrong? Faith, I'm talking about no child. Have I been doing it wrong? Is that what I'm finding out now?
Pepsi is sweeter. So it
Okay.
It's a better taste to me. But I try not to drink either one of those because they both clean car batteries. So like, and that's no shade, no nothing. That's just like, I'm trying not to. I don't want the beaties from that.
C's, let me know.
If I get the beaties, let it be from something like real good, not like a soda.
I feel you.
You know?
Nah, I feel you. So yeah, that's that whole situation. Anybody in the comments go to the protests on the 5th, the hands-off protests in your city or
your
county,
area?
in your area? We did not.
We were busy.
Yeah,
obviously.
We didn't make it.
Quite the...
I also just wasn't going to go. Well, I wasn't going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's... This what you're talking about, the protest of, like, no Trump, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all just going to protest.
Yeah, I protested when I voted. I'm not.
And you lost. How do you feel about that? You know? You don't want to lick your wounds, you know? Loser.
Yeah, Aaron, I messes with Cherry Coke. Dika is in the chat.
No, he's not.
That's wild.
That's a lie. Where, on Twitch?
Dika is in the chat right there on YouTube. That is wild. Yep.
I ain't download Phase yet, B. I have never felt like I got caught doing a crime so bad. Dika's here. I feel like I shouldn't be here. Hi, B. I love you. I miss you.
So Michelle said there's a
I ain't do it yet.
There's a whole history around marketing targeting of Coke versus Pepsi. And then also the Coke boycott when they were supporting South African apartheid. They stay consistent.
Now Dika said I'm out.
Son of a...
Michelle.
So I am supposed to be drinking Pepsi.
Yeah.
Son of a
bitch. I think Dika's out because of the Pepsi talk, probably. Not because I've noticed that he's here.
Probably. Dang!
Coke. I mean, we know that Coke is awful as a company.
Delicious.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm sure Pepsi is too. I just don't remember.
Okay.
I just don't have a thing in my mind. But yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, now we know.
Well, so those protests, they were pretty big. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were out and about. Mm-hmm. It wasn't I guess it's funny because it's being reported like this is not your average protesters. This is a whole bunch of, there's older folks out there and there's younger folks and these
are the protests we like, basically. That's how they're reporting
protest,
it?
Yeah. Like, but I have an issue. I find issue with that. The agitation that happens at protests is not a lot the people doing the protests.
Yeah.
It's police agitation.
Absolutely.
And so great that they didn't do what they do, Right. I'm very happy for that. But I don't think that this is like the model of what protests are supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that we should be leery anytime the media is like, see, they did it right. Like, why
are you supposed to like the protests?
It's a disruption. It's supposed to disrupt your day or disrupt the thing that is happening.
Right.
It is not meant to be something that makes other people go, oh, no big deal. Well, at least they didn't break a window.
Right. At least they didn't trash the place.
Michelle said lots of people who are trying to subtweet January 6th by making a big deal about how these were nonviolent and come out sounding like they're slamming BLM. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
There's always going to be, if there is any racial tension within an activation, there is going to be the chip on the shoulder style talk. which then goes into all of the anti-Blackness that comes with the reporting, not just the coverage, but the treatment that comes from the authorities.
Yep.
And people who aren't involved and aren't a part of organizing circles have no idea what's going on. They listen to the local news and then they're like, see, the Blacks are doing the thing again.
Yep.
They're burning our city down. And these self-hating whites, which is always hilarious, that if you
race trading
are
whites,
a white person who has any care for anyone else outside of yourself,
yeah, you're self-hating.
You're a self-hating white or a race traitor to your folk.
Right. The clan of it all. Unbelievable.
April said they did it right. You mean they did it white?
Correct.
Yeah. Which, I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to discourage folks from protesting. We need disruptions and we need people to rally together. We need to be uniting. So I don't want to, as if I am just shitting on this.
Not at all.
That's not what I'm doing.
No.
But I am forever going to be a little leery of the way that things like this are framed, and how we did it the right way.
Yeah.
Finally.
We could just get
they know
them to
how
do
to
it
protest
this way,
without harming all that property.
Right. We could just get them to do it this way moving forward. We'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever, bro.
But more importantly, Trump has a new name for Republicans that he doesn't like, and that is a panicking. And I am going to be using that word.
We're panicking or just panicking?
Nope, just panicking, because you out here, don't panic. Yes, the tariffs are backfiring. Yes, we are about to go slamming into a deep depression. But don't panic. Just hold the line, bro. Because what will happen at the end is greatness.
I heard members of his administration referring to it as, this is like you taking your medicine, This is, you got to take your medicine. It's not going to taste good going down.
I don't think they know what take medicine means.
Well, they don't believe in science, but they do like to use it as an illustration. Yeah. No vaccines, any of that stuff. But yeah, this is supposed to be like taking your medicine,
So it doesn't taste good going down. Doesn't taste good going down,
but it's going to do your body great. Yeah.
What if your body loses all of its money and then you can't pay any of your living expenses, and then your body goes from being inside of a home into outside of a home?
Right.
Is my body still doing good?
Yeah.
Did the medicine work?
Medicine worked. This is going to balance everything out. Everyone's going to end up where they're supposed to end up, which is in the streets.
I mean, if the entire point is to get a labor force that you don't have to pay a bunch of money, then this is going great.
Yeah.
The plan is working. I don't know about y'all. I don't want an extra layer of subjugation. I don't want to then, now be working for $1 a day and like potato rations.
Exactly.
That's not what I'm looking to do.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for that.
Well, good luck.
Anyway.
Good luck with that. I don't know what to...
What in the fucking fuck?
We hit the right amount of subscribers?
I think so.
What? What are you doing?
Holy crap.
It's that time. Oh, I gotta get this.
Holy crap.
Oh, hey guys.
What is that?
How many subscribers did we end up with at midnight? And was it 64?
It was 64 subscribers.
I think it might be somebody's 64th birthday. Wouldn't it be though? Let's just go ahead and put that right
front
down
center.
Wow.
I think we should. Did you give Am's jewelry?
I left it upstairs.
Oh, that's fine.
It's my birthday.
All right, guys.
And-
I think we should.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. All right, continue.
You want to know where Dika's in the chat? Oh.
You want to blow your candles out
You
before
might
you burn
want
the
to blow
show
your
down.
candles out.
Wow. Happy 64th birthday, MJ. Wow.
We don't blow anything now. You can't spit on a cake.
Holy crap and crap.
What the fuck? They're
That was amazing.
happy. The glitter is on my face.
Oh, it's in your glasses. That is hilarious. Holy
This is the problem.
shit.
I need to speak to the manager.
Oh my God.
Where's the manager?
If there's anything our family is notorious for, is the prank game. The prank game is wild on this side.
Okay.
Are you going to wear your sash or? Son of a bitch.
Does my sash fit?
Holy
It's
crap.
Mother's Day. Wow. Thanks a lot, Dika.
Oh, man.
Keep it secret from your
Okay.
freaking best friend again.
Fake
Wow.
talk about happy birthday, Morgan.
Oh, my.
There are so many birthday wishes in here.
Well, that now I understand why certain people are here.
Michelle,
Certain people who are never here. Now I get it. Why does this keep happening to me? I should have known. How did I not know?
Michelle said with every follow, you are born again.
These are literally everywhere. They're in my hoodie pocket. How?
Holy crap. Okay, I think we got
Jess, did you know this was happening? Damn it!
Oh, wow. Okay, so everybody knew but me. And I love that.
But you?
I didn't know.
No, I know. But you're not alone in that. I also didn't know.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, as far as, well, you're the target. Of course not you. But I'm just like, wow. Okay.
I think that also had something to do with you. I don't know. Well, thanks for watching this show. Bye. See you later.
That was so well executed.
When I heard them coming down the stairs, I was like, well, this never happens. Like, what could be happening right now? What in the intrusion? There's a unicorn on here.
I got an MC Wolf in the chat that said, happy birthday, my old lady.
I don't even know what to do with myself. It's my 64th birthday, and I didn't even know it. Shit's everywhere.
When you get to your age, sometimes you forget when your
So
birthday
hot
is. So you
now.
got caught off guard.
I did.
Yeah.
You got a break now? Like,
I did.
I'm so caught off guard.
Wow.
There's no getting back. The train does not. It's off the tracks. So this show doesn't happen anymore.
What
What were we talking about?
Luckily, there's no glitter in my water. This is awesome.
There's glitter in my coffee. Lily,
It's going to spice your coffee up. Give it a sip.
I really don't want to swallow a bunch of hearts. I really don't. This is insane confetti too. I want to know if this is like 18 different kinds because there's
Yes.
birthday cakes, presents, swirly guys, happy birthday,
Party hats,
hearts. This is not one pack.
No.
You know?
No. Wow. Okay.
How the hell? This is no. We're gonna have a moment.
Y'all might be in trouble.
I've been here since 4:30. Lily has been talking to me in my face multiple times today. Multiple times in the last 2 hours. All in my face. Oh, would you like me to make you some coffee? What?
This is glorious.
Lily's in the chat now. Talking about swallowing my heart. No. Oh my God, Michelle Grizzle, what is happening, Lily?
This is so awesome.
Hi, Michelle.
Oh no!
This
Oh
is
my God!
Wild.
Tracy said, "Happy birthday, MJ! Happy 64th birthday!" This was quite the prank.
What a production.
Very well executed. Very well executed.
What?
Holy shite!
Greg said, what in the cake and balloons? How are they still on me?
Wow.
Or
Wow.
is that just my face?
That does explain. There's like 20 people watching on YouTube right now.
That are not normally here.
No.
Or if you're here,
some of them
you're
are.
not
Some
in
of
the
them are.
chat.
Yeah, some of them are people that are normally here. But wow,
This is insane.
Yeah, this is awesome. Okay.
Wow, thank you, Lily. Sorry, y'all, for wow. Tracy, you're unbelievable. I don't even know what are you doing here?
Lingus, what are you doing?
What are you doing here?
Okay. All right.
Well, and
I can't wait to watch that playback of that.
I am 64 years old now due to the shenanigans you guys came up with.
Wowzers.
But we now have 73 subscribers on YouTube. So
yeah, I think we might have more. Crap.
Never Lily yelling, all capsing me, get back to work. What's this look like? You know?
Yeah. Oh, we're at 78 subscribers.
Should this be down here?
I don't know.
Poor Jess, there's no show now. Like, I literally don't. There's nothing for you to do.
Cecily said Medicare is right around the corner, and I can totally help you.
She can totally. Well, it's a really good thing I have a Medicare specialist in my family who can help me with navigating this system, which super sucks and is apparently now almost available to me.
Tracy said I was told to be here. Yeah. Good job, Trace. Excellent job.
Following directions. Look at you.
Oh, okay.
Very proud.
Okay.
Very, very proud.
Keith is saying, get your check while they're still being cut.
Man! Do I get paid for this? Hold on. Did y'all forget to drop the... He said something about jewelry for you. Is there a check for me? I'm ready for it. Needed.
I'll come back with the jewelry after the break.
Needed.
Wow. Okay, so we wanted to quickly touch on our experience over the weekend at the Imagine Black Reimagining Public Safety Summit, which was just
thank you.
The absolute amazing situation that it was. And honestly, we came into tonight's show kind of like low energy.
This is wild. Not kind of low energy.
We were pooped.
Oh, it's all on the top of the hat. That's why it keeps falling down. Lily! I need a break.
We came into
Where's the makeup touch-up? What's going on?
Your makeup lady.
Yeah.
We came into the show pooped because the...
Never pooped.
The weekend was very inspirational, but also like very emotionally taxing. Not in the bad way. It was just like, whoa, we're talking about some really heavy topics here. We're hearing, other people's stories. We're recounting things from our past and situations we dealt with around public safety and what it just means to feel safe in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. As Black people. It was really, really absolutely amazing. We speak about the work Imagine Black has been doing. We've been talking about them for a couple of years, especially around the voter guide. Like, just absolutely amazing work. Just stellar work. Some of the sessions that they provided for us, Afrofuturism and the Oregon State Prison System by Walidah, Imarisha. Dope.
I don't want to, I know that we're being brief, and I don't want to, this is, especially for the speakers that came in, whew, I just don't even know where to start. Just hot fire everywhere.
Yeah. For sure.
Just
for sure.
Hit the reggae horns. But that in particular. So I remember the very first time I ever watched the X-Men movie.
Okay.
I said, is this just about racism?
Right. Immediately.
This is racism, right?
Right.
They just illustrated
so woke.
Like, but in a way of, they're special or mutants. That's like they have abilities.
Right.
So a lot of people are going to be watching that and not think of it in the way of, they can think of it as an other, but they don't think of it as race or, like all of these people look different. They're not, some look like what your average person looks like with no abilities or powers. And then, oops, you shoot things out of your eyeballs,
right. Right.
I think that's a lot of sci-fi and a lot of those kind of works really illustrate all different kinds of otherings that happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And it speaks so well to the audience that is frequently targeted by that content, and also like I'm just all over the place, right?
It's literally stuck in your arm hair.
Stuck in my Wolverine arm hair. But like when you think about sci-fi content, it's like, oh, that's the stuff for the nerds. That's already a group, social group that is already othered. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we take pride in being able to look at this. I mean, I'll never be unappreciative of being able to see comic book characters and cartoons that I watch where organizations have spent millions of dollars to turn that into reality for me to watch.
Right.
It's like, you guys really you care, unless you're Sony. And then you got Craven and Madam Web.
Your favorite movies.
Yeah. Yes. But you were saying the othering.
So the way that she spoke about not just imagining, but the projects that they have done.
Yeah.
In writing about abolition and the importance of creating environments that are nurturing.
Yeah.
And how you have to have that in order to not have the weird, not weird, but to not have the kind of crimes that are most reported and most talked about in the way of being these, awful things that makes a target close. We know that resources is what causes most of those crimes. Lack of resources is what causes most of those crimes. We know that when people aren't safe, they do unsafe things. We also know that living outside is inherently unsafe in a city. So I guess that's also true elsewhere. But we were talking about, like, what does it look like if we have the kind of communities and support that allows people to grow up and live nourished and have their needs met? What does that mean for safety? Right. And it means everything for safety. And also, what does safe really actually mean?
Yeah.
We all have different definitions. We're all going to have different ideas of what that means. And being in a place with people who have shared experiences, but also different experiences, that we all come away with the same idea that the police don't make us safe, the police don't stop crime, the police don't get your stuff back, the police don't do any of the things that make you think you're supposed to call them in the first place.
They are not part of the safety equation.
They're not a part of the safety equation. And I believe that that is true for all of us. I don't think that's just for Black people. The police do not make any of us safer. None of us. They make property safer. Yep. And if you are a person that owns property and may have a little extra cachet, maybe they protect you a little bit too.
Right.
But you aren't even then, you aren't the thing.
No, not at all.
And I really appreciate, I'm stuck in this place of like, I want to be able to meet people where they are. And I also don't want to get stuck in the kind of conversations that you have with people who are not well-meaning, who just want to argue. Yeah,
the disingenuous stuff. I'm not doing that.
I don't want to get stuck in those conversations. No. So then I sound like I'm, I don't know, above it all. And I'm like, I'm over here, graduate level, and you just started, and I'm not talking to you about these things. And I don't mean it in that regard for people that are well-meaning.
No, it's an exercise. It's an exercise in protecting your peace.
Yeah.
Period. And we talk about this all the time. Like, when you encounter this, block it, unfriend it, keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know when people are being disingenuous. So don't spend any of your mental time and any of your mental energy
from your mental mind.
From your mental mind. Any time that you could be spending doing anything, taking a walk, playing PS5, having some birthday cake. Like, don't waste any time arguing with these people because they don't really mean it. And then there are so many people that may feel like they actually have a true opinion on it, but they haven't done any of the work.
Right.
They haven't done anything outside of me search. And now they want to have a conversation with you.
And not to be confused with research.
Not to be confused with research. They do all the me search, and now they want to have a conversation with you as if you guys were on the same level.
Right.
And it's like, but
you're not.
You don't believe in climate change. I'm not having any conversations with you.
Yeah.
Your kids are unvaccinated because you believe in the Lord. It's going to take care of your kids. And you also think that trans athletes shouldn't compete. So...
But it's not even just that you believe in the Lord. It's that you literally are being indoctrinated with all of these talking points and divisions.
Right.
And we're not going to understand that we've been indoctrinated unless we have a reason to step from it. Right. And so when you are talking to people or you come across something on the internet where it challenges the things that you thought that you knew or your experience, the first feeling of being defensive rather than like, oh, wow, okay, I've never heard or seen of that or whatever is, I think that's what gets me every single time is that it's just like, well, you're wrong because that's not what happened to me.
Right.
Like, in where is that ever true? That if it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen. Like, we just don't have the same basis of knowledge, right?
At all.
And I'm sorry, I'm so jumbled right now. But part of that is understanding that people are different spots along in their journey of learning and unlearning. And the idea that you really have to put in work to unlearn the things that you have been taught is really hard for people to do. They very much feel like, I have this, I don't need more, or I don't need a contradiction to it. This is, these are the things that I have used to base my opinions on things. And especially in America, because I'll speak very specifically for, our own experiences and mine specifically, is you are told so many things that as you start to experience stuff, you're like, well, but that can't be true. Or is that true?
Is that true?
Wait, so we're the ones that did that thing? And then we did the... Like, for me, I'm curious. I'm nosy. I want to know. Tell me more. Like, what does that... What did that actually mean? Yeah, like... We're the ones who are disrupting all of these other and starting coups in all of these other countries. And the way that you learn history and American
folklore.
Yes, fan fiction.
Yeah.
Again, for me, once you realize that has not been true and that isn't the thing, it makes it easier for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this systemic thing is wild, right? Like, really, this isn't even your individual thing. But in America, very individualistic. Everybody is pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, and everybody is their own free thinker that nobody else has planted an idea in your head ever, never, not once, right? And everything you've done is an original idea or thought. Wild that we could be having those thoughts in 2025. But because I know that the indoctrination has worked so well, I cannot expect everybody to be in the same place that I'm at. I cannot expect everybody to understand what an oppressive system, which part of the oppressive system even is working through them. Because they don't see it and they don't feel it. And that you know what I mean? Like, if somebody told you you're upholding white supremacy and you're like, I'm a TSA agent, what do you even mean?
What are you talking about? At what point?
What do you mean? You may not get it for a long time. Even if somebody explains it to you, you just may not get it. Mm-hmm. And there are people that are in positions of power that are always going to abuse that. They are always going to want to have those positions of power to be able to abuse it, and be able to oppress. And then there are people who don't know that they're a part of those things and I'm not saying that this is excuses behavior or excuses
they just
anything.
don't know.
They just don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give everyone the credit that they have a bunch of information that they simply don't. Yeah. I can't do it.
It doesn't matter if you have access to the information if you don't see value in the information.
Or that you don't, having access doesn't mean you get to it.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it's if you don't even, like, if you can't recognize it as something of value, it's a book sitting on a shelf that doesn't have a title on it.
It's a tab on the internet.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, yeah. So one of the other sessions, I believe this is on day one, we had Abolition versus Reform by Dr. Lisa Bates. There were some self-guided activities that were really, really dope. The Beyond the Walls film screening, that was like an hour and 20 minutes worth of short films that addressed prison system. It was absolutely like, there were some tear-jerking moments for sure.
Not some.
Okay, tons.
I mean, I'll be honest. For my, for me, you didn't.
For your own self.
For my own self.
Yeah.
We walked in there, and it was the end of one of the shorts. I started crying immediately. Mm-hmm. Immediately.
Yeah, it was rough.
And that particular one was about the expansion of the prison system in Virginia specifically happened very quickly, and it was private prisons. And they were, $7 for a 10-minute phone call type thing. Like, so a radio station there started a call out. You can call in, you can leave a message, you can write in.
Yeah.
We'll read your letters over the airwaves. We'll play your requests for your loved ones.
And where this particular radio station was, their broadcast signal covered 8 prisons.
Yeah.
Which was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hearing those voice messages, and it just really it hit me immediately. Like, and the one that was playing when we walked in was I think a mom to her son. And was like,
yeah.
And I lost it. And that, like, so many of these films also focus on what it means for the people who are left outside.
Yeah.
And that is not a conversation that happens as much. And if you have been impacted by this system, if you have had a loved one in prison, or if you have been in prison, you know that, like, say you go to a visit or you talk on the phone, you know that the life, as soon as you hang up, as soon as you walk out, you know they're going back to the most dastardly conditions, you know? And we are a country that focuses so much on punishment, and there is no rehabilitation in the American justice system. That is not what it's for. Don't let them lie to you. So when you hear those words like reform, laugh in their face, because they, 1, don't mean it, and 2, think of the conditions that are there right now. Reform ain't enough.
Right.
You can't reform allowing people to be in solitary confinement for months or years on end. You can't reform that. That's not reformable. You have to change it completely.
Yeah.
We know that the things that we are doing as a system to people in captivity are killing them, making them go absolutely insane. And then if they are lucky enough to make it out of those conditions, we expect them to just do it right now.
Right.
This time, go do it right. There's not even the you paid your debt to society and now you get a free start or a fresh start. That's not real.
Right.
That's never been real. Maybe it's real for some people.
Right. Joyce said, as a person who grew up going to prison every weekend, their whole childhood till early 20s, that's a blessing. Them calls used to cost so much.
Right?
So the radio station would be a blessing to be able to have that. Yeah. Whew.
I don't even know what to say about that, Joy.
Yeah.
We have to talk about that.
Yeah. Hey, Joy. Yeah. So, yes, there were, again, this is...
It made me so badly want to initiate a program like that. Like, how do we connect people? Because it really it hit me.
Yeah.
It hit me hard. And such an incredible way to do what you can, even though you are not a part of the situation. Like, to do what you can so people can be connected with their folks.
Mm-hmm.
The, amount of, there was a van of women in one of the movies that was going to see their loved ones, and without that van, without that woman who drives that van, they don't have a way to get there.
Yeah.
Without, these are hours away. These prisons are nowhere near civilization, Without that effort, they wouldn't get to see any of the people that they love that are in that scenario.
And what's the visit, like an hour?
Huh?
What's the visit, like an hour that you get? You know what I'm saying?
They didn't even mention that. And I know that it's different at different prisons.
Facilities,
so I'm not sure. But even if it's 3, and even if you're there for the whole weekend and you get to see them twice and you got a total of 6 hours with your loved one.
Right.
And it's going to be another, 5 years? Or, there was one mom who was like, I haven't seen my son in 15 years. I just started bawling. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that was rough. That was real rough.
So I know that they screened that at, I think the Hollywood.
I think it was a Hollywood, yeah.
A while ago. Mm-hmm. And if you have the opportunity to see it, if there's a way to screen it on the internet, pay for it, do the things, that movie is important.
Yeah. I'm going to definitely holler at them, see if we can get it on the network, on the Pac West Group network. Nice. So we can just sit there and embed it, people to check it out whenever they want to.
I also, before we get to break, just want to make sure that we mention we were able to, they had passports there were self-guided workshops. Again, this was just like the best conference I've ever been to. And it's not that you don't get the options at other things, but like what the options were made it impossible to choose, number one. And then you were just hoping that you could get to the other one the next day. But one of the workshops was, what was it called?
Which one are you describing? Keith's workshop was called Creating Solidarity with Folks on the Inside.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. We got into that on the first day and we were too late. And so we just
caught the tail end
of it, and then made sure that we were there for the next one the next day. And we're going to talk more about that conversation when we come back from break. But what was really interesting was to have a conversation, just people saying, like, how have you been impacted? Have you been impacted? Do you know anything about this? And the amount of people in that room who have been impacted in some way by friends, loved ones, themselves being incarcerated, it really highlights just how this entire thing is punitive, and none of it is to restore, rehabilitate.
No.
It's made to harm the entire thing.
To continue the cycles of harm. 100%. 100%.
And you can have the moments of that, and that's always been your experience, and you absolutely have and then to hear stories again and again, it's like, how can we be in 2025 and still be having these conversations? Obviously, there are proven things that would work and we could do, and we just decide not to.
Yeah.
And at one point, somebody said, well, it costs more money to do this. We know it's more harmful. Why do we do it? And my only answer is capitalism requires it.
Period.
Capitalism requires that there is an extra super duper subjugated group of people. We all have to, under capitalism, have to feel like we're a little bit better than. Mm-hmm. We're making it a little bit more. I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
We should really have a better understanding right now as we see people being not just displaced, but deported under complete and total lies. Like, we're just going to make these things up now. You're a gang member. Bye.
So wild. Wild. We're going to be hopping into that Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Michelle just shot us an update too about that. We're going to be hopping into that full. Yeah. Because that's almost a whole show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shit show, but it's almost a whole show.
Hi, P-Town.
It's almost a whole show. P-Town said abolish. Absolutely. Yes. Just go ahead.
Nope.
No. Capitalism requires some to be at the bottom, some at the top, and the cops to be there stratifying the two. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was really inspiring.
The entire weekend.
Draining.
Yeah.
Like, draining.
Emotionally, yeah.
Emotionally draining. We were coming away after each night like, what? Heavy business. I feel so heavy right now. I'm so tired. It's early.
Last night we got more sleep than we've gotten in months.
Yeah. And I'm still tired.
And
I'm still drained.
Yeah. One of the things I want to mention, just the intentionality around our safety as we're attending a public safety summit. Every morning we had the COVID test.
Yes.
That was mandatory.
Yes.
You walked into a room.
In here.
Nope. You walked into a room. They gave you individual COVID tests. You sat in that room for 30 minutes waiting for your results. They'll send you a text message whether you tested positive or negative. Then after that, you went to registration, and then you had your breakfast waiting there for you. It was just, anyways. So
Take
good.
Notes. All the notes were taken.
Yes. So we're about to head into the break. So tight 10 minutes. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the comments, get active in the chat if you'd like. All the things. And yes, we'll be back in 10. We are currently at 86 subscribers.
What?
Yeah, we picked up like 10 just during the broadcast. You guys are amazing.
I'm going to give that to Lily. Lily gets those.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing, you guys.
Time for break?
Yes, P-Town. A good prison system is an empty one.
Yes.
Boom. All right, yeah.
And that's said not Doge.
We'll see you on 10.
All right.
And we are back in the house.
I was playing with these colored little glitter pieces.
Yeah.
And now my fingertips are bright pink. And this is the gift that keeps on giving, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be able to not mess with these while they're all over the table. And they're all over my keyboard.
Oh my gosh.
I'm seeing where this isn't great. You know?
We're going to have to get some canned air, and blow it out.
Yeah, seeing where it's not great.
Yeah.
But it's great. Welcome back.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. We back.
That is wild that we also got like 10 new subscribers.
Just during the show.
Just during the show. So thank y'all so much.
That came through.
Everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of party we have at 100, but Lily and John will not be involved.
Whatever party we have,
a planned celebration.
Whatever party we have at 100, it will probably be next week because we're at 88 now. Oh. So that means we're going to probably cross 90 before the end of the show, which again is wild. It's wild.
Let me hit a refresh. Wow.
Bruh.
Okay, guys. All right, well, so we're back.
Yeah. So right before the break, we were talking about our experience at the Imagine Black Reimagining Public Safety Summit this past weekend. And one of the conversations, one of the breakouts, and it was interesting too, because I remember you being like, traditionally, breakout sessions aren't something you look forward to. It's like, the breakout session. This wasn't that.
This was not that.
These were some really great breakout sessions. They really,
Every
really
single
were.
one.
Yeah. Straight up. So this
and
one.
all of the self-guided things. Sorry.
Yes. I wish we could have had more time, honestly.
Yeah.
This one was creating solidarity with folks on the inside. The breakout session led by Keith. Imagine Black's organizing manager. Keith held it down.
Yeah.
The people that came to participate held it down.
Yeah.
And expanded into a conversation around anti-Black sentiments within the African immigrant community. And this particular conversation, of course, hit home for me.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
You know, being
You're
the
just
son
from Philadelphia.
being the son of an African immigrant. My pop's from Nigeria. My mother's from Jamaica. So some of the things I've heard over the years about there being tensions between African Americans and Africans. A lot of it, initially, I kind of like, that's not not that it's not a real thing. I didn't feel as though it was something that was heavy enough or significant or substantial enough for us to spend so much time talking about it. Because me being African, that's not something I practiced. And it wasn't something that I felt like had that much of an impact. And primarily because I wasn't really hearing from African Americans telling me that. What I would hear from African Americans with regards to any type of relations in between Africans and African Americans, it started out with just like, being called an African booty scratcher. Right. So you spend a lot of time in elementary school trying to shake that. You want to dodge the booty scratching accusations. You're like, I don't even scratch my booty. So I don't know who you're talking to. Must be a different African who scratches their booty. Tis not I.
It's not me.
Tis not me. Hands be in my pocket. No booty scratching. So, and then, that kind of just wasn't a conversation for me because it's not something that comes up for me specifically because I've been using my stage name for so long. So people are meeting me as Ambush. There's nothing that says this man is African. There's nothing that says this man's Nigerian. There's nothing that says this man's Jamaican. It's just Ambush.
Right.
Ambush. Right. So trust and believe. There have been times when I've been in conversations with people or in group conversations like, yeah, and I'm Africans. And I'm just like, yeah, I know what you mean. Them Africans. Really? Continue. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Because it's an infiltration. Let me
yes.
Let me understand how you really feel.
Yes. Okay. I definitely stay quiet in those conversations because I feel like there's so much I can learn. And then also things I can impart upon them too. So I don't want to, permission to speak freely. You got it. Granted, talk trash about the Africans while I'm sitting here, But one of the things that came up.
I just want to be clear. And then you are like, challenge that? Or?
It depends.
Okay.
It does depend.
Wild. I'm not talk trash about the Africans around me.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pick my battles. If this is a conversation that I feel as though they can learn something from it, sure. If you are just, if you're just so like steeped and weighed down in your bigotry, I do not feel like spending the emotional labor of convincing you that people who look just like you aren't the problem. Like, I'm not, depending on the day of the week, I may go back and forth with you. But like, you got some serious problem with some Africans? Hey, man, you should probably talk to that particular person that wronged you and not put it on. And
that's the thing. It don't even be
all the Africans. Right. Like, good. And the crazy part is Africa isn't a country. It's a continent. So like, that's the other part too. But in any event, there was a gentleman that was part of the conversation. And it seems like he'd been in the country for at least 18, 19 years.
Yeah, gotta be. Yeah,
probably longer than that.
A little bit longer than that, but not by much. Maybe we'll say 20, and we hope we aren't getting his story wrong.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly how that particular dynamic came up as part of the overall conversation, but he was saying that there was a level of indoctrination that he went through as he was getting his visa and coming into the country. Where he was told basically, do not associate with African Americans. Yep. Do not come over here and be in community with black people because black people are bad. You are different. You are an African. And he was hearing this at the embassy.
Right.
That was mind blowing.
Let me just tell you the way that everything stopped for me when he said that, because I know that I reacted loudly with my face.
Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, what? Excuse me?
I was stuck because, again, anti-Blackness is global. We absolutely know that.
Right.
Being indoctrinated with all of the American white supremacy and patriarchy and capitalism and all of the things, there's a very large part of that is insidious. You don't know what's happening. It's coded. You're given it as a kid, so you don't even realize, you know what I mean? To hear him say flat out that at the American embassy, they said, you're not like them. They have a chip on their shoulder. You don't.
Right.
Don't associate.
Right.
Don't be like that. Is a different level of
propaganda.
No. Like I was about to say evil, and that's not what I mean. Is it
intent?
No. Danger.
Okay.
It's a different level of danger because it's louder. It's plain. It's obvious. It's pointed. And that division from the beginning, we have had the conversation about immigrants who look down on Black Americans and are very, very bigoted, and trying to hold space for understanding that is a global problem. Anti-Blackness is a global problem.
Right.
But not knowing what it's like to live in another country and be a Black person in another country, you don't know the level of indoctrination that they're receiving before they get here.
Right.
And you were talking to me about what it looks like when the TV is on a loop and the only information that you're getting or the programming that you're getting from America is showing you Black people on cops.
Right.
Or
or just Black life, how it's depicted in American media, period. It's not, and that's the thing. It could be something so, I don't know, down the middle is just, again, maybe an episode of Law and Order where, there's Black officers and there's Black lawyers, but the underbelly of all of that is that Black people are on the bottom because they deserve to be. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what the depiction was. So I went back to Nigeria with my father in, I want to say I was maybe 12 or 13 at the time, maybe even 11. We were there for one of my grandparents' funeral. And we were there. The trip was for 2 weeks. The government tried to keep my father. So there was some corruption at play where they wanted extra money in order to, allow him to return and release his passport. So that 2 weeks turned into 2 months. And I'm talking about multiple trips to the airport thinking that we're leaving and it's not happening. And during that time, I'm there, kicking it with my cousin. We're staying with my aunt. And the TV that they were showing, there were a couple of channels, but for the most part, you were watching the same 10 or 12 shows on a loop. Same commercials. This is content that was piped in either from the UK or the US or whatever they had stateside there. But you're watching the same shows over and over again. Maybe after a couple of weeks, something might cycle in, something might cycle out. But for the most part, you're kind of being indoctrinated with whatever it is that you're watching. So this is just for the short amount of time that I was there for those 2 months. I can't imagine someone growing up in another country and their only relationship with Black people in America is what's being piped out to them through American media. I liken it to what the early settlers did, the early colonizers did with the Native community that was here, the indigenous people, when they created literature and comic books that depicted Native peoples to look like demons and savages and sent that shit back to the UK. And this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're up against. And it helped with colonization tremendously. Like, we got to push them back. We got to, fight them off. So to hear that this particular man giving us his experience of what he was encountering when he got to the embassy, I was able to share that experience with the people in the room, saying, hey, listen, because immediately they're like, we don't understand why they come here with so much animosity. We don't understand why they don't see us as family, why we don't see each other and ourselves. And I'm like, this propaganda starts before they even leave.
Yep.
They've been told that this is the land of milk and honey, and the blacks that are here do not appreciate it.
Squandering it.
They're squandering it. They're wasting their opportunities. All they want to do is crime, drugs.
That is all I want to do.
Yeah. All day crime, all day drugs, debauchery.
Yeah.
So when you get here, when you're given the opportunity, don't you mess it up by hanging out with those folk. They're absolutely no good. Right. Don't do it. Yeah, I was happy to be able to share that with them because I believe it felt like them hearing that in combination with the gentleman saying, sharing what he was being told at the embassy was like, whoa, wait, what?
What was really dope about another really dope part of this was there was a woman from Haiti who has been here since she was 2. Mm-hmm. And there was another woman who was talking about her experience recently with a Dominican person who she was like, he's black. He looks black.
Right.
But his perception of African Americans is like, you're broke. You don't have jobs. You're doing a bunch of crime. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be able to afford any of the stuff. And, I got money, so I'll show y'all how to live kind of thing.
Right.
And her whole, in that moment was like, we're the ones who pay for all this stuff. Like, we are college educated, working women, all black, all, there's...
At the Beyonce show.
Going to Beyonce. So, like, you got to have $1 million to do that anyway.
Period.
But it's wild that, like, that is still so very much people's idea that we're just, unable or unwilling or lazy or all we do is complain. And I just, like, as Keith had said when that man was telling his story and he said that we have chips on our shoulder. It was like, man, where'd that chip on my shoulder come from when it got a boot on my neck?
Right.
There's been so much that has continued to happen to black people in this country. If nothing else ever happened again, we still have 500 years of reasons to say, fuck you.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, very seriously, fuck you. For the idea that someone's complaining too much or that we're lazy or that we're not doing everything we fucking can to survive.
Right.
If this were the meritocracy that we are told that we live in, there would be no exclusion, right? There would be no need for the DEI because you would be hiring the people no matter what, who's the best at the job.
Right.
But when you are fully biased and unwilling to remove yourself for a moment and pay attention to things like there are too many studies. There are too much data, period, for us to even continue this conversation of the blacks in America are lazy. Like, it's wild. You were calling us lazy as you were stealing our labor. Be fucking for real for once.
I love the, I can't remember which comedian said it. It was like, it might have been D.L. Hughley or someone else. It was like, you calling us lazy after we built the whole country. I think we could rest.
It'd be dope to rest.
Yeah, I think it'd be all right if we rested.
But haven't even been able to do that.
Right. Right.
And when you are consistently not resting and you are consistently in survival mode, the idea that you could even out of your mouth say some wild shit like that, let alone continue to believe it.
Yeah.
Like it is intensely insane.
Yeah.
Full-blown bananagrams.
All the way. Yeah.
But what was really dope also about that gentleman is he was like, the reason I'm here is we don't know how this system works.
Yeah.
So we're getting detained by ICE. We are getting sent to prisons. We don't even know how to go visit our folks. They're not explaining any of this to us. We don't know what it means to, be a part of these systems. So he was like, I'm here to connect with people that know how this system works so that I can hopefully explain it to my community.
Right.
And he has a program where he is getting African immigrants and African Americans, younger people, taking them to show history of African American history in this country to very simply explain, we are not different.
Yeah. Yep. Taking them back to African countries with ports of exit.
Yep.
For the slave trade, and explaining to them like this is how it happened.
This is how it happened. We are actually all connected. These people did not take a leisurely trip.
Right.
They did not hop on a boat for fun. And we're not going to, not on his watch is he going to let you think that they did.
Despite what Kanye will tell you, slavery being a choice.
Maybe. We're not going. Well, I thought we don't talk about Kanye on this show anymore.
It's true.
Because I wanted to talk all about that Black Klansman outfit, but ain't nothing to talk about, I guess. He ain't talking about nothing.
What you talking about?
He ain't talking about nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we were able to come away from this weekend with a lot of inspiration and a lot of hope, honestly, which is not something I have a lot of.
Definitely. It's perfectly timed for that reason.
Yeah. But again, it's such draining emotional work that even having the conversations, you don't in the moment feel like, whoa, this is draining. But immediately after, it's like, oh, damn, I just shared a lot about things I haven't thought about in a long time. Or personal experiences start flooding back because now you're talking about it. You maybe didn't mention it at the table, but it's, now it's swirling in your head.
Yeah.
And we're just, then going back and talking about other things that are relatable, but heavy work. Heavy work. And there's something to be said about how heavy the work is that we continue to show up for. And I don't know how many communities that have the label of lazy and chips on their shoulder are doing this much work.
Yeah.
These heavy lifts. And we have to have, find moments of joy and find the ways to rest. And it is incredibly important. And everybody plays their part and all of those things. And it's still exhausting. And it's still dangerous.
Yeah. The level of danger, the threat level hasn't decreased.
Like at all.
No.
And for a lot of it increases because you're like, I know more than I did before.
Yeah. More aware.
And you have to use that information moving forward. That's not the information that you can accidentally lose because it is a part of your survival. And if you are not living in survival mode at all times, you don't know what it feels like. You don't know how hard that is. You don't know how getting out of bed feels.
That part.
Knowing that you're getting up to face another day that does the same thing. In a not just area, but in where the system literally says, fuck you every day. Built in. baked. Your work day is different. Your school day is different than the people that you go to school with and the people that you work with and all of the things. It's fucking different. There's, like I was saying, there's so much data that explains that you have the same cover letter and resume and it's the same hiring manager. And if you put a white sounding name on that thing, you get a call back. When you get there for the interview, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Who's lazy? Who's looking for handouts?
And to the point that you made earlier about people that grow up in the environment, geographically isolated from people that don't look like them. They're not aware of the bias. They're not aware of what they're practicing. So like a comparison I made, after the fact, as we were just in conversation about it, just talking about the power of media and indoctrination. When I was telling Morgan this before I moved out here, like in the 90s, of course, my formative years when,
Wu-Tang loves the kids.
You know what I'm saying? When Boys in the Hood dropped, when Menace to Society dropped, when South Central dropped. This is me on the East Coast watching what I believe is all-encompassing West Coast life. Not California, not LA, the West Coast. So you line that up with West Coast rappers, that representation, along with the movies. So I'm already in my head, like, don't go anywhere on the West Coast wearing red or blue. You're asking for it. There are no doctors on the West Coast. There are no black doctors. There are no black butchers. There are no black optometrists. It's all gangsters.
Yeah.
What? Like, what, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and this has got to be hilarious to anyone on the West Coast that is in the chat right now. Like, that's got to be hilarious. But that's the way that shit works. It's so subtle.
Yeah.
And then you couple that with the news. You couple that with cops. When you started seeing drive-by shootings, no matter what coast it was, on the news every single night, all they wanted to cover was that particular type of crime, as if there weren't people in other communities committing crimes.
No other crime happens.
Yeah, black on black crime is the phrase. You don't hear white on white crime. You don't hear Asian on Asian crime. Black on black crime.
Yep.
There's no other.
They just can't stop killing each other. They can't
stop criming. They're criming so much against each other. So imagine, again, you're overseas and this is what you're hearing?
Right.
There's black on black. That phrase alone.
Bruh. There's
a black on black crime. When I get over there, I don't want the black crime to happen to me. So I'm going to stay away from the blacks.
No black on blacks.
Quick way to dodge crime, stay away from the blacks.
I mean, that's literally what they're telling you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a crime.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do a crime.
Yeah.
Stay away from the African Americans.
Keep away.
Which, I mean, I'm not. It's not a surprised kind of thing. It is just, how do you continue to be disappointed in this? You know, like, how does it keep getting worse?
Yeah.
How does it keep getting worse? Finding out, like, just flat out, bro. Don't talk to them. You're not like them. Those are people of authority. Those are people who are, like, from the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes their first contact with a person once they're here. Like, real conversation.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation you get, and you're coming to a place like Oregon, where, completely illegal for black people to be here for a real long time. Not that they weren't here, but illegal.
Yeah.
Flatly in the Constitution of the state. Are they adding that in? Do they mention that? You're lucky to be here.
Right.
It's been illegal for a long time. I mean, it is. I know that we do a great job as a country selling the propaganda. I know we do a wonderful job explaining that the streets are, in fact, still paved with gold.
Absolutely.
And that there's so much opportunity for you here. Also, don't come here. But if you do, be a good immigrant, right? And do open a business and do a, but also don't come here.
Right.
But also, if you do... Don't talk to the blacks.
Right.
I'm not getting over it. I'm not getting over it.
Yeah. That was a heavy one. Man.
Yeah. To live, to have that experience for immigrants to come here where, especially if you are coming from Africa, where you are not seeing a ton of white faces and you get here. I mean, just at the Portland airport, you would think that black people don't exist. Right? Like, just in workers.
Nah, yeah.
When you go to any other airport, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Look at all these black pilots.
Yeah.
Look at the crew.
Facility workers, something.
Look at the facility workers.
Something.
Yeah. Here, hardly any. And that's got to be one hell of a culture shock on its own. Then step outside of PDX and it's like, whoa. And when you get to the embassy, somebody is telling you, don't even look at the people that look like you. They're a threat. They're a problem.
Don't you dare.
They are dangerous. They're going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. You of course you're going to walk away from that real confused and misled, but carrying some of that anti-black sentiment, and you don't even realize that's what it is. You just got told what to do.
Boom.
By an official.
Someone put a chip on your shoulder against African Americans.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Fast.
Just like that. Yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more story before we close out.
I'll say this, we did a way better job energy-wise than I expected us to. So I guess I'll thank Lily for her bullshit. And definitely thank everybody who was in the chat and showed up for the birthday party that no one else knew was happening. That all of y'all knew was happening.
Right. What up, Kate? Kate's in there. I see Giovanni.
Oh my goodness. Giovanni. How are you? How's life? What's tea? What's going on? Yeah, you want to get into the food bank or the issue there?
Yeah. Food banks in Oregon struggle as the USDA cuts halt vital food deliveries. A wave of federal funding cuts from the U.S. Department of Agriculture has put Oregon food banks in a precarious position, just as demand for food assistance continues to rise. The USDA's decision to end the local food purchase assistance cooperative agreement program is already causing major disruptions, with canceled food shipments and growing uncertainty. The agency defended the move as a shift towards fiscally responsible initiatives, stating a preference for stable, proven solutions over temporary relief efforts. On the front lines of the crisis, food banks and volunteers are sounding the alarm. At St. Andrew Catholic Church in Portland, the need for food assistance has surged in recent years. Volunteer David Fickstad reported that weekly families served have increased from around 100 in 2022 to over 700 in 2024. That's estimated to be around 20 to 30% of the food that we get, Fickstad said, referring to the share loss from the now defunct program. The impact is being felt personally by community members like Gary Johnson, a disabled veteran from Northeast Portland. Johnson, who visits the food bank weekly with fellow veterans, shared concerns about what the future holds. We'll all get together and we'll come over here and pick up a few essentials before we go to the grocery store, he said. Losing this support is going to hit a lot of people hard. According to the food bank, the fallout is already materializing. Director of Operations Shannon Oliver confirmed that 30 truckloads of food, nearly 1.5 million pounds, have been canceled between April and June. That's about 18% of the food typically distributed to 21 regional food banks across Oregon and Southwest Washington. April's about a week away, so we're indirectly feeling the impacts already, Oliver said, emphasizing the loss of nutrient dense foods like fruits, frozen meats, pork, and chicken. Critics of the USDA's decision argue the cuts are short-sighted and harmful at a time when food insecurity is escalating. David Wieland, a policy advocate for the Partners for Hunger-Free Oregon, questioned the rationale. It hurts. These are deeply popular programs. They feed hungry people. They support local farmers and ranchers. They support the economy, Wieland said. It's really confusing that these would be the things to cut in a moment where demand is so high. It's confusing to anyone with a modicum of empathy and understanding. It's confusing to anyone with common sense. It is not confusing to people who are looking to continue to oppress and want to make sure they're doing whatever they can to benefit the 1% here. It's a system of control that they're wielding right now. They're tightening the belt on, and it's going to get bad. Like, it's going to get bad really, really fast. We talked about like how things got during the pandemic, the early days, and there was definitely a fear. I remember telling Morgan, like, I could honestly seeing someone being without, like, stealing someone else's shopping cart in the parking lot. Like, it could get there. It could get there. Lord forbid what a family would have to do. You know, they've already lost so much, and maybe they're living out of that van. And at some point, you get tired of just asking for assistance, especially when you're being denied that assistance from your government. The agencies and organizations that you used to count on to give you that assistance locally, they're closing their doors. Now what?
Right. In the Joy in the chat said, I know a person personally who will go to food banks to help friends and family who can't get to them, and she volunteers at one then and has said that the food is shortening. One of the things that we know for sure that creates healthy communities is healthy food for the people.
Right.
We have a current, administration and power structure that is not interested in creating healthy communities and is not interested in making America great again or keeping the people alive. That is not their interest. Mm-mm. So we know that. They can just say those things, but then we know in the actions. Cutting SNAP benefits, trying to make, food scarce, the price of things that could be different. I am not saying that the president can make the price of eggs be a completely different price. But I am saying we could have, this could be different. It could absolutely,
For sure.
there are things that you can do to make sure that people are able to get food. And even if that is subsidizing everybody, while here you have $12 eggs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We are instead trying to take food away from people. We are trying to then hurt those farmers that have been the backbone, along with those small businesses and the stores that carry that food that no longer have food to sell to the customers. Like, we know for certain that people need healthy food in order to live a healthy life. We know that. Right. This isn't questionable. So, of course, if you take that away, if you make it harder for people to eat, while you're making it harder for people to make money, or that their money even matters to the things to their cost of living, they are purposely impoverishing all of us. And when you get to the point where the lack of resources has created the kind of crime that they lied to you about and told you was happening when it wasn't, then what? Then I guess it's Gotham. I don't know.
Yeah.
But where have the resources gone, right? Because this whole we're saving you money thing, and Doge is out here, you know, we're going to shut this down and we're saving money. Where does it go? What's the savings mean if I'm homeless now? What does the savings mean if I can't eat? What does the savings mean if the only thing we can eat is ramen?
Right. What's that doing to your body?
What does it mean when your kids cannot have something healthy because they get rid of school lunch and breakfast? And that was their way to eat.
Right. Shout out to AJ.
AJ!
In the chat says, invest in our local food programs. This saga was a long time coming based on how we have set up emergency food systems.
Yep.
This is intentional. We will see many deaths because of this.
Yep.
The way we all help is by donating dollars to local food pantries. AJ is not just a homie. AJ is the executive director of Equitable Giving Circle. And
co-founder.
And they feed about 400 families each week.
Per week.
At their at the food pantry at Alder Commons. And it is absolute amazing work. They've been at this thing for 5 years. They're expanding into housing. They're just doing so much to help the community. But one of the things that was highlighted this weekend during the panel discussion she was a part of is that they have, it was a 547. It was a 500. I want to make sure I get the 100 right.
597.
597 monthly donors.
Yeah.
And she said the average is about $40 a month. That is community taking care of community.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's community taking care of community. They source very, very fresh produce from local farms.
Yep.
So, I mean, when you're talking about the impact of, one, these farmers not getting these federal contracts anymore. So these truckloads that are supposed to be coming into the state that will affect all these other food programs, like, we got to start being more creative. We got to be able to figure this out, because we all know how much harder it is to fix something once it's broken.
Right.
Where's the even the interest in it? Like, looking at what happened again with the immigrants that were shipped out,
bruh,
and for the State Department to admit this particular guy, we weren't supposed to send out. Like, this was a mistake. This is on us. But we can't bring him back.
Not going to be able to do anything about it, except for tell you that the mistake was made.
Yeah. Once these food programs break down, we're now dealing with a larger problem. Crime will increase. Houselessness will increase. It's going to be a domino effect. And instead of them actually addressing the cause, because we know they never do it, what happens? More police.
More police, more places to house people in prison or jail.
Yep.
We know that doesn't work. We know that is not investment. We know that's not investment in community or people. And we cannot get caught up in it. We cannot get caught up in the idea that more police will change a hunger problem.
Right.
That more police would change a housing problem. That more police would change a mental illness problem. More police doesn't change a crime problem, let alone any of the reasons and the causes for the crime.
Right.
It addresses none of it.
Right.
And if it did, and I really need you to sit with this, if it did, you would not have the examples of that crime happening right now, because police budgets are ballooning.
Yeah. PPB, Portland Police Bureau, has the highest budget they've ever had. But they're still understaffed.
They're understaffed. No one wants to be a cop anymore, apparently. Mm-hmm. So they will tell you.
Yeah.
Except for if you give us more money, we'll hire more cops.
Right.
They have just so many vacancies for positions there.
Right.
They don't need more money. What they do is find a way to spend that money, right? They make sure that whoever gets 1 million hours of overtime and makes more on overtime than their salary, we're going to spend this money out so that we can show them we need more next time.
We're going to need 2 planes.
And 4 tanks.
We're going to need that dog. That robotic dog. We need one of those.
No, we need 8 of those.
Yeah. Like, these are things that they purchased over the last couple of years. It was like, what are we talking about?
Right.
You can't fill positions, but this is what you're doing?
All for a group of people that need to wear body cameras because they lie so much.
Right. Right. Think about that. That alone. Any job that you're on, right? Maybe there's cameras there for the safety of the staff. There's a camera by the bank vault, whatever. There's cameras at where people work, places of people.
Cameras are never for the safety of the staff.
Right.
I just want to be very clear, no matter if they tell you that or not.
Yeah.
Cameras
but
are surveillance.
In this particular situation, the employee has to wear a camera. That's how untrustworthy they are. They have to have one on their body. Like, that says a whole lot, bro. A whole lot.
We're in such a bad way, but it isn't new. It isn't, they're running the same playbook. I'm going to say this every time we need to say it. Mutual aid is how we have continued to get through all of these things.
Yep.
When we talk about changing the way that government works for us, it doesn't mean that the mutual aid ends. It doesn't mean that the mutual aid isn't still needed. It means more support for more people.
Right.
It means our tax dollars working for us and not someone's business or development ideas and dreams. It means we see what the tax dollars do. It means we get a benefit of giving them our tax dollars.
Period.
We see it back. That is not asking for too much. That's a return on investment. And any of those people that would tell you, that have millions and billions of dollars, that's what we're all supposed to be looking for, right? A return on our investment. Do not let them tell you that they're about to save us money and then let us starve to death.
Right.
We all have to just literally tap in with the local orgs that are doing this work that aren't playing about it.
Speaking of tapping in, shout out to Jess. It just donated to EGC. And if you're reading this, you should too. And Michelle said they make monthly donation set up very easy. Hint, hint.
I mean, wow. We have the best team.
We do.
I just don't really know what else to say. Like,
yeah, really good team.
Just out here killing it.
You know what I'm saying?
Team on fire.
Fire.
Today was amazing. I'm going to go to sleep in 5 minutes. Cannot thank y'all enough for rocking with us throughout the show. Mm-hmm. Forever and always, love and a little bit of shade to Lily and John.
Man.
Mostly because she always says to me, like, you should, like, I can't believe you didn't know something was about to happen. I don't either. I'm be honest, Lily. I don't. I can't answer that. I don't know what my brain is always trying to find the mystery. I'm always trying to figure out, and then until it's, I guess, my time. But definitely Dika should have been a hint. Should have been a hint that something was afoot.
Yeah.
And shout out to y'all for keeping those secrets. This was fun.
Very fun. It was amazing.
There are, in fact, glitter things all over everywhere. And it's a good thing I don't live here and I don't have to clean it up. Love that for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
All right. That's another news with My Fiance. Sorry. Monday night. Raw live. In person live Raw. In the books. Thank you for spending all of this quality time with us.
This episode was made possible by our in-studio crew, Jess M., and our remote crew, Kyle G, Residual Audio, Michelle, Rossum. Shout out to our studio sponsors and arch villains of the day, L&J Industries, for providing this dope space each week. And of course, big thanks to you all for listening and staying engaged with us.
Y'all can stay engaged with us all week, every week. Follow us on Instagram at News with My Fiance. You can follow Ambush at Scambeezy. You can follow me at Portland Morgan. You can become a member and sock it to our pockets. What is about to happen? You can become a member on Patreon, sock it to our pockets. Let us keep doing this show for more times and stuff there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's cake time.
Yeah.
Oh, big night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Oh boy. Patreon.com/newswithmyfiance and at newswithmyfiance.com, you can check out the merch, baby.
Boom, boom, boom.
Buy some things.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. All the stuff.
Yes. Special reggae horn to our patrons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Casey.
C's.
Share Bear.
Ella.
Jay.
Katie.
Kyle.
Michelle.
Olivia.
And Rossum.
And our growing stable of free 99 fiancés. Please. You know, just hop in there.
Yeah.
Be a part of the community.
Yeah.
Holla at us.
Community. And shout out, we closed the show with 88 subscribers.
Wow.
On the YouTubes tonight.
Tell your friends to tell your friends.
Boom. You know the deal. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we're all free. No war, but class war. Go hard on the systems, not people. And we will catch you Thursday morning on X-Ray FM, 7:30 a.m. to 9:06, right before Tom Hartman.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. You can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.